Did you know that you can say no to being gaslit and that it's a conscious choice? Hi, everyone, and welcome to Own Your Greatness. The topic of gaslighting is a big one. And quite frankly, as a Gen Xer at age 54, I had only heard of gaslighting in the last few years and really only started to understand what it was a couple years ago when someone tried to do it to me by something she said. And I did a whole official YouTube on this a couple years ago that has a thumbnail, and I share that whole story there. So I'm not going to regurgitate it here, but if I can find it, I'll attach it later as a next video. But it is something that if you realize what's going on, you can just say no to it energetically. You can say no. Often people will put their challenges onto you in a form of gaslighting to make themselves feel better. It's just a fact. It's human nature. And quite frankly, we've probably all done it at some point or another. So in this video, it's just going to be about having the awareness to start to recognize it, especially if it's happening to you often and from someone maybe you know, or you work with, or you have some type of working relationship with, and start to say no energetically. So what happens is that people have so much going on in their lives, so much of their own drama, challenges, confusion, money challenges, relationship challenges. They could be struggling with a partner. They could be struggling at work. And then this little opportunity bubbles up that's going to make them feel better about themselves. And they put it onto you in a form of gaslighting. And it could be blaming you for something that you know you didn't do. It could be twisting words that you say. Or it could just be something that makes you feel small, that would get you riled up inside because you know better. Literally, you know better. You're not small. Hi, you're here on this channel. You're not small. So what you need to do is literally be like, no, I'm not accepting this. And you can either say that verbally to the person or energetically shut it down. However, I will warn you that if you're shutting it down and you're shoving it into your body as trauma also an overused word, but a very important word. So don't ignore it and don't listen to people who say it's not a thing. It is a thing. Your whole situation could get worse. And what ends up happening is it results in you having different health concerns, gaining weight, hair loss, face breaking out, just unhappiness overall, because you've been taking it and not standing up for yourself. Not standing up for yourself. Not saying, no, I'm not going to accept this. And here's why. And what happens is we are so afraid to have those conversations. So at the core of accepting someone gaslighting you is because you're afraid of something. You're afraid that you're going to lose your job. You're afraid you're going to be alone. You're afraid of some type of retaliation or repercussion that could happen to you. And so you have to own up and be truthful about that fear and understand that it just doesn't really exist. If you stand up for yourself in your job and it's legit and you end up losing your job, you have to consider, maybe the universe has my back and this isn't a good place for me to be. And something better could come along, right? We live in this fear of all those things I just mentioned, right? It could be the relationship too. If your partner is consistently gaslighting you and then you don't stand up for yourself, and then you finally stand up for yourself and you have the Tower card, that the relationship falls apart instead of getting stronger and really working through these challenges, which is really the most positive outcome for the highest good. But let's say that doesn't happen. Maybe that relationship wasn't meant for you. Maybe there's something better. but you've been ignoring it. You've been ignoring this little demon in the corner that's just trying to help you see it. So it ends up then, when you reframe it, that, wow, gaslighting actually worked out in my favor. It made me realize that this person isn't meant for me. You end the relationship and someone better comes along that is meant for you. And you treat each other with kindness and respect. So there's many ways to look at it. And that is consciousness. That is expansion. That is zooming out. That's following your intuition along the way. Simple, but not always easy. Because we have to deal with the fear that's behind the fact that you are being gaslit. That you are being gaslit. And if you are the person that's doing the gaslighting, think about that too. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? It all goes back to fear. And then burying things within those layers of fear, and all that just builds up in your energetic field. All just builds up in your energetic field over time. And then people wonder why they're stuck. That would be why. So do this work. It's super important. You may have to listen to this video again, just like a lot of my other videos. But being gaslit is a choice. You have a choice to say no and literally have that conversation with somebody. No, I don't accept this. That's not true. Or whatever it tends to be from the situation. Or just walking away. But don't bury it. At least reckon with it. Do the work. Look at it. And then let it go. Say, this loop is not for me. This loop is not for me. I do not accept this. And close that gap. So thanks for watching. Please share my videos. I appreciate you being here. My website's melindavanfleet.com. Until next one, have a good one.